Shalom, let's give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us His word. I just want to talk about this article I came across entitled Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Threaten Iran. We're ready for other options. So yeah, I mean these prophecies are coming to pass. Another hurricane is scheduled to hit New Orleans again this weekend. You had that earthquake down in Haiti. So another one. So I mean, these things must come to pass, as well as this World War III. There's only a few options left, not a few prophecies left. Microchip, and this World War III. So you definitely have to keep an eye on the Middle East as well, just like what happened over there in Afghanistan. About those soldiers that got caught up in that military bombing or that suicide bombing. So this is from ZeroHedge.com. Biden, Israeli Prime Minister, threaten Iran. We're ready for other options. During his first trip to the White House as Prime Minister, Israel's recently installed Prime Minister Naftali Bennett pressed Biden on abandoning ongoing attempts to restore the JCPOA nuclear deal, the talks in Vienna, which have remained stalled of late. Biden, in his introductory welcome remarks made in the Oval Office, while alongside Bennett, said, "We're also going to discuss the threat from Iran and our commitment to ensure Iran never develops a nuclear weapon." And then he appeared to make the kind of threat towards Tehran that the Israeli leader no doubt welcomed. If diplomacy fails, we're ready to turn to other options, Biden said. Certainly, U.S.-led sanctions on Tehran have, by all accounts, been essentially maxed out at this point, leaving many observers to conclude that Biden was clearly hinting at a military option. Bennett himself had earlier in the week told the New York Times that Israel is willing to do anything it takes to thwart Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons, despite Iran's leaders long claiming they are not pursuing nukes, but instead a peaceful domestic nuclear energy program. Bennett had days ago specifically threatened that clandestine attacks will continue and that Tel Aviv will continue to punish Tehran via gray area activities, a reference to hidden sabotage and espionage. And clandestine just means like kept in secret. During Friday's nearly 1 hour meeting with Biden, Bennett said, obviously, the main issue we're going to be talking about today here is Iran's right to a nuclear weapon. And he turned to President Biden saying, "I was happy to hear your clear words that Iran will never be able to acquire a nuclear weapon and that you emphasize that they'll try the diplomatic route." And then he agreed, but there's other options if that doesn't work out. Yeah, that's basically it. There's wars and rumors of wars, other rumors of war building up right here. But eventually, it's going to turn into a real war. Uh, scriptures say that Russia is going to become a guard to this nation, the other nations, and that the least of the flock shall draw them out. And this is also part of the least of the flock, drawing them out, trying to get, the U.S. military involved to help them out. But, these things must come to pass. It's Revelation 11 and 12. "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." And that cloud is the chariots, the elect getting beamed up. before those nuclear missiles hit. In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the power of heaven. In that same hour, the great earthquake, nuclear missiles dropped and destroying all of America, the 10th part of the city. And 7,000 men, meaning completion. Number 7 meaning completion, complete number of men died. So everybody that's standing on American soil is going to be destroyed. But the elect will be saved. They're going to be up in the cloud looking down in that chariot. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Woe represents destruction. In this case, like a war. The second war is past, World War II. And behold, the third war cometh quickly. It's World War III, man. Reese the Flock is drawing them out. He's trying to get this World War III started, and eventually it will come, So we have to keep our eye on it. Next scripture is Isaiah 2:2, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob. He will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation again, neither shall they learn of war anymore. So that's how we know this prophecy hasn't come to pass yet as well, because that World War III is still looming. And that's how we know that the ones that call themselves Jews today, those Israelis, are not the real Jews, because they're already established in their nation, So that's how we know that they're not the real Jews, man, because there's plenty of wars going on today. But when the true Israelites, like the ones that we read in Revelation 11 and 12, when the elect gets delivered, beamed up, and becomes those joint heirs with Yahushai, establishes his government, establishes the true mountain, that's when then establish our law towards the entire earth. That's how we know that, that the Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, those are the true Israelites. And we're going to know in that day, because there won't be any more anymore. They're going to beat their swords, their plowshares, and their spears and pruning hooks. But we still got these wars going on. We still got this one last war. So right here, the second war was past, and the third war was quickly coming. The World War III is coming. So we got to be ready for it, You got to keep your eyes on the Middle East and keep up on these prophecies, and endure this truth, man. Because that day's going to come when those missiles are dropped, and you want to be one of the ones getting beamed up, man. But yeah, I just wanted to bring out this article, He said, diplomacy fails, we're ready to turn other options, that military, he's talking about that military option, to invade Iran. And that's one of the last prophecies we're looking for, But with that, shalom.